What's up, you guys? FSC Truck Shop. Well, we're continuing to work on the front end of this 12V71 Detroit diesel. Funny, I almost forgot what it was. Well, anyway, last video we went and got the front cover removed, and what a chore that was. But I did ultimately win. That's how you do it. Persistence pays. We're going to leave the oil pump gear on the crank simply because my puller isn't long enough to grab it, so there's really no need for taking it out right now, I don't believe, so we'll leave it in. But right now, the rest of the goal is, now that we got the lower front cover off, we got to get this accessory drive off. Now, this engine is a twin cam engine because they're kind of built very different from most other engines. They're almost like the Legos of engines, especially for the diesels. This engine could be a 671, meaning it only has 6 cylinders. It's not a V engine. In other words, if you just took that part of the engine and stood it upright, it would look like just an inline 6-cylinder, similar to what Orwell has in it, you know, the B model Cat, what most guys are running today. They made them so you had V engines, straight inlines, you know, and so forth. It's really kind of the same. But because they made them modular, like Legos, this engine has a camshaft which runs right through here. Obviously, another one on the other side. So it's a twin cam. That way it would be identical to a 671 Detroit, an inline 6-cylinder. One cam end is here, the other cam end is here. And there is a gear in here that drives the water pump. Water pump used to bolt here. See older videos that I've done to see how that works. So the goal today is to get the front of the engine completely disassembled. So we're going to start by taking off these pulleys. Hopefully that'll be an easier job than the madness we just gone through earlier in filming of the removal of the lower front cover. I will also remind you guys, just in case it matters, there is a difference between an 8V, a 6V, and a 12V71. The 8s and the 6s, the oil pump was in the front snout of the engine. In the 12V71, the oil pump is below, slung down low here. I've never seen one taken apart, so you're just going to have to find that out. Again, I'm not the Detroit expert around here, by far, obviously. So, we're learning together, boys and girls. That's the idea of this video series. So, with that, let's go ahead and get this started. This is a 1.5 inch nut here. I've reduced to 3/4 to half so I could use my impact on it. There we are. That's out. Nope, oh, there is a washer. Just a painted on washer that don't want to, there we go. Excellent. That's out. Set that there. Now, I suppose you could thread bolts in there for the puller to yank that off of there, but man, it just doesn't look like they're tiny. What is that, 1/4-20? Maybe? That doesn't seem right. Let's wrap the puller around the end and pull it off. Well, I've got the old puller set up on there. Start putting some snot on it and see what happens. Does it fight me hard or does it go relatively smooth? I think she's going to fight me a little bit. She's going to fight me a lot. Why not, right? Once again, it has to come off. The cam slides out. Looks like out the back. Reposition it. Oh, it slips off. All right, get our angles right. Well, the last one I did, I had to put the impact on it. I think we're there again. Yikes. Now some of you are gonna have conniptions because it's what, you know, YouTube comments do. Now, what I'm gonna do is just heat the pulley. I've got a lot of stress on that. So I'm gonna heat the pulley and it should loosen up and then I'll be able to pull it off. Now, I don't care about that oil seal because obviously we're gonna replace it when we rebuild this thing. But, and then I am gonna use a little bit of heat here. Not direct on the crank or on the cam, but on the pulley. She ain't glowing, but she's certainly hot. I don't have a lot of time to let it cool. Kinda gotta work a little fast. That's hot. Take my word on it. That's hot. Talk about stuck. All right, we're gonna let that sit and cool off a bit. I guarantee you that cam snout is quite hot. But we could take this off. I can pop this one loose. Hopefully that little bugger doesn't fight me near as hard. I mean, it's certainly a press-on type deal. It's only a little 9/16 bolt though. Coming off with no trouble. Awesome, I like that. Alright, I think we're done with the hot tools. I have to be real careful with that cam snout because that puppy's gonna be hot. Now, there are bolts here, here, and here to take that housing off. Looks like to get this piece off without the cam coming out, but that part there will come off. I gotta uncover this and figure out how to get that apart. But for now, we'll take this apart. I have to be real careful here because that cam snout is gonna be quite hot. So, now this steel plate is sandwiched between this bracket or housing and the engine block. This piece here, 1, 2, and 3 bolts will come take that part out. I guess that's a seal. It would have to be. I'm not sure exactly. By the way, that comes out, that comes off. But for now, you want to take this housing off. This housing sandwiches that steel plate, like I said earlier. This here is part of that housing. It's not separate. It's part of the housing. So, and then obviously here, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier or not, your water pump goes here, and there's a gear in here, which spins your water pump. So now what we're gonna do is just take these bolts off, take this housing off. Oh, it's much bigger than that. Aha! Hidden nut. Look at that. As if it hidden ones. And one long bolt. There's just one left. And that's that big guy there. There you go. Oh, nope, there was one more left. Oopsie daisy. Pretty sure that's all of them. Looks it to me. There we go. Okay, now I got that apart. Now I'm going to attempt to take this apart. It looks like these 3 bolts will take this off. Now notice there is a counterweight here. This is actually a balancing act here. Just like a big counterweight on a big steam locomotive, this is a counterweight, and that is timed to the way the engine is set up. So what I'm going to do is I hope that's not a crack. Ooh! Wowza! Look at that right there. She's cracked, boys and girls. This came apart. Look at these teeth missing here. And that crack right there. This gear is garbage. I wonder what happened. Either way, that is a counterbalance weight. So regardless of whether it's broken or not, yeah. So let's get and bust these loose and get it pulled apart. Good thing I found that crack. Take that off. Another one of those. Oh boy. All right, so look, here is a keyway. And that keeps that pulley from spinning on the shaft. And now I've got to pull this pulley off of that cam. Hopefully, because this is oil covered, it'll work a lot better than this side. I really don't like grabbing gears this way. I don't think I have much option. It's broke anyway, so I'm going to try to scatter it over where the crack isn't, because the crack is here. That counterweight will offer it a little bit more beef, little more resistance. Oh, practically effortless. So now I'll take a closer look. You see the gear teeth right there, they're all chewed up. There's nothing left, they're garbage. And it's cracked. Now this thing only spun a water pump, but that's obviously no good. There's a Detroit diesel part number right there. So there we are. These two appear to be basically the same, but since that one was real hot and this one we didn't have to throw any heat at, we're going to take this one off first. Oh, it's a 12 point. Oh, hope I got that. Turns out I do. It's 3/8, 12 point. I like to use 6 points if I can, because 12 points tend to round off bolts a little if you really got to put some snot on there. that one came out with a washer. Okay, there are washers in there, boys and girls. Be mindful of that. You were gentle. Oh, I see what they do. There is a pry tang right there. Okay, call me stupid. Let's take this one apart. Much nastier. All right, the washer's still in there. Take note of that. It's actually quite cold now. The book is calling these end bearings, and it looks like they go into the block a considerable way. I'm wondering if this will come out in other words, no, obviously not. It does have to come out. That's interesting. Okay, let's try to get that one out. Wowie. All right, what's the trick to the end bearings? Alrighty, boys and girls, I got some answers. Let's wipe this dust off that fell on the crank snout. Let's rotate it over a little bit, shall we? Or attempt to. Now we don't like to turn easy. Oh, there we go. Those keys, you got to get them keyways out. That's the trouble. Gee, that sounds familiar. There we go. And it's out. That one. Once you get these keyways out, these should come out without any issue. Got our little pry tabs, pry them out a little. There's a bearing in there. You can take the cam out without taking it out the back. This way works a little bit easier. I hate being this rough on equipment, you know? Truly I do. It's just put together so long ago. It wasn't really cared for. So it really everything's fighting me. It's just that collar don't want to come off the cam easy for whatever reason. I took this cover off already. This is in the back of the engine, obviously. Transmission goes here. Since that front piece is very hard to come off, and I don't want to risk damaging anything, the camshaft should come out from the front. So what we're going to do is take this cover off, set it aside. And then there's a large nut similar to the other side. Take that off. Now this is, I believe, how you time it, this plate here. I don't think I have to take that off right now. Just gotta let him eat. There's that. Alright, so now there's just them 9/16 bolts in there. Hold that plate on. Nope, they're not 9. What is this? 5/8. This is 9/16. Not like it matters now that I'm being careful not to drop them into the engine. It's all going to come apart anyway, but still it's a bad idea to get in a habit of letting crap fall into engines. Garbage screwdriver. Voila. So that's housing. No, that's a gear. That is a gear. That feeling ain't coming out as easy as I think. No. To continue the idea of removing the camshaft, here's my rag. These are set screws to hold the cam from going forward or back. I loosened one to see if I could. Got the biggest screwdriver I got. I think that one's the one I already undid. Take that out. We're going to just leave it on top of the engine for the time being. Wowie! Are those supposed to be that tight? Oh no. Oh shit. Oh, come on! Uh-oh. Oh, I hurt something too. That trick worked. I couldn't believe it worked. I hit it with this in the direction of turning it, and it came loose. I should have filmed that. I didn't know I had the camera off. Okay, so now the cam should be loose if it's gonna slide forward. If. I don't think it's gonna. Put a little oil on it, but I feel it ain't gonna matter. Probably fight me every bloody step of the way. That far comes out. And then that's it. I'll move again. Stupid collar, don't want to give up the fight. We got it. This stupid thing didn't want to come off the cam. Now it is, and there we are. Both outer cam bearings, spacers, and all associated hardware. You would think this would be a little easier to do. That's all right though. Simple solution to simple problems. Got problems, work it, think, figure it out. Doesn't mean you can get everything done, but you can get a lot done. I think we're about ready to take this cover off now, finally. Slight bit of impact persuasion. Excellent. Looks like that's all it is oil valley. Let the oil down in the hole into the block. And this huge pipe plug here. I don't know what that does. The only other thing I could think to do is to take these off. They turn easy, that's good. These are block drains for your water jackets. I don't know if we'll reuse them or not. Oops, dropped my wrench. And through the thing. Excellent, but it's loose. Great.